Fausto from Cybertrade University, and welcome to the podcast. And more importantly, we're going to talk a little bit about how we're going to use the Bookmap platform. I'm really excited to have, one of Bruce Pringle. I know him for such a long time. I mean, and we're going to have a little fun with him and talk about exactly more or less how we kind of met, how this whole platform actually came into factor, and why we need it, why we, what makes us different from all this stuff. But Bruce, so how's everything going, Bruce? I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going?
Yeah, all's well. Thank you, Fausto. Thanks for having me on.
No, we're looking forward to it. I know we got some good features. We're going to talk a little bit about it. But before we do that, I want you to tell me a little bit about you, Bruce. Like, what got you into the trading business? How did you fall into Bookmap in the first place? I'm just curious. We never spoke about that.
Yeah, it's actually a good question. So it was very serendipitous. Basically, a friend was found out about Bookmap and showed it to me, and I was like, no, they can do that. Like, I was amazed by it, and I went out and immediately bought it the next day, before I thought they were going to raise the price to and double it like in another week or month or so. So I immediately purchased it. And then we had some questions. So we reached out and asked some questions, and they said, well, those are some pretty good questions, and it seems like you have some good trading experience. Would you like to join the team? And it just kind of happened like this. It's been over about 9.5 years now.
It's been that long, 9.5 years?
Yeah.
Well, how long did I know you for? I mean, let all the listeners know a little bit here that they, just how it all came about. I mean, before then, I met you before then.
Yeah. So, I mean, we met originally at the Money Show here in New York City, the trading event, and you were presenting, and you were winning all of the trader competitions as well, year after year. Just looking at the order book, and support and resistance, so very, very simple levels, and then the order book, and then that was really nice because that kind of simplicity is also, it doesn't look like it here in Bookmap, but it is exactly that. It is just a composite view of that. So it fits your style very, very nicely. But yeah, we met there. I remember chatting with you about a few different things, and just kind of, someone showed you Bookmap, and you reached out, and we started chatting again some years ago.
Yeah. Well, what got you into the industry? I mean, like, more or less. I mean, like, listen, I know we've been using this platform for a long time. There's not too many platforms we kind of use too much in Cybertrade University. I mean, this is probably the most exclusive next to our own execution system. But what got you into the industry? I mean, like, listen, there's a lot of people listening in, a lot of traders here. They don't know if they want to trade. They don't know if they want to get into it. They're making these big mistakes when it comes to trading. But what really got you into this?
Into trading in general, it was a hobby for a while, and I wanted to give it a shot, go for it, and along the way, met different people, and led to Bookmap, and here I am today, basically.
Well, what'd you do before? I mean, what'd you do before this? Before you became a trader?
Yeah, good question. So, industrial designer was what I had studied and was for 20-something years or so. So, product designer, and it actually fit really, really well with trading, but especially with Bookmap, because a product designer is their job is to be able to communicate to an end user how to use a product, and to design it with that in that regard. So being able to understand something, intuitively and use it correctly. So that fit very, very well with Bookmap.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people they never like. It's not like you go to school to be a trader. Like there are schools now that are starting to offer it more, but it's like whoever thought about like getting into this industry now with everything that's going on with AI. I've been talking more and more about it, Bruce, where they're saying even Elon Musk said it that everyone's job's gonna be replaced. I mean, literally, it's gonna be like, yeah, listen, anything you touch, no matter anything part of technology, even going to McDonald's, AI is replacing everything. Like I was just on my boat over the weekend, and I went to watch with Memorial Day, the Blue Angels were out there. So like we were boating and we like there's this area where we tie up with like we were in Zax Bay and we were tied up. There's probably kind of been at least about 3,000-4,000 boats out there. It's crazy. So we tied up with like 8 boats together. Just watching the air show, and my brother's friend is big in AI, is big IT guy, and he was saying that he got into he's replacing some somebody called him up. He was on vacation, and he said, "You got to take this call." He's like, "Listen, I'm on vacation." He's like, "Well, listen, you have to take this call. It's very important." And sure enough, he was talking about this new job that they were doing, and he basically told him, says, "Yeah, we just replaced 150 people, at your company. They just fired 150 people, managers, HR, everything." And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when it comes to what we're doing right now, I try to tell everybody that we figured that out. What? When did you figure that out? What, 15 years ago? Like I figured it out. I went to school to be a landscape architect. With the technology today, with AI now, I mean, you really have no choice but to learn how to trade, because it looks like what else is there to do?
Well, I imagine, well, we'll see where it goes. I'm kind of worried that a lot of our skills might go out the window because you could tell AI to look at these patterns, find that on the chart, take a trade from that, tell me what my risk is, etc. So I mean that's not going to take too much. I mean it's a big discussion. I don't know where it's all leading. I mean, think about like a driverless car, but chart patterns are a lot easier than that, than looking at patterns on the road of all sorts of crazy scenarios that might unfold. So yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, well, like, listen, it's coming there. It's getting there. We all probably witnessed what happened with NVIDIA. I mean, I even did a couple of little short videos on it where, you could see using these chart patterns like on Bookmap, where these iceberg orders, what we call these big block orders, getting executed, seeing how they're getting executed. You just got to basically follow the money. I mean, being a market maker on Wall Street for over 30 years, I mean, just like the tools that you have right now is just totally just blows you away. That the people that are trying to get into try to do this on Robinhood. I mean, like just added before you even met this. What was your best advice you ever had when it came to trading?
Oh God. I mean, I think it's all the cliche stuff that you've heard over and over again. But I think there's a difference between understanding it conceptually and then understanding it for real. And I think probably one of the biggest ones is that you have to make it your own. And you have to understand it and comprehend the concepts, but it has to be your own. So you know how to react. That's my 2 cents worth. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, then for the other 2 cents, if you weren't a trader, what would you be doing right now?
Maybe I'd still be, in industrial design somehow, I guess. I don't know. Good question.
But AI is going to replace that. I mean, it's so funny when you really think about it. There's these new programs right now with AI where you could just literally you could plug in your design. It builds everything for you. It's just amazing. Like even copywriter is getting replaced. Like all these, like everything's getting replaced. But one thing, gets to the trading part of it. I mean, I don't know. Do you think the Bookmap is a little bit more of an AI platform?
I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't know what to say. It's going to be interesting to see where all of this goes, and it's going to happen quickly, I imagine. Heck, I'm no expert on this with this AI stuff, but you know, it's moving at lightning speed.
It sure is. It sure is. Well, listen, with the listeners in here, I mean, and you've been there at Bookmap for so long, and you experience, we're such a big fan of the stock. Like we're watching right now, Microsoft breaking a major support level, but not just as a support level, seeing buyers. We're going to cover that, and we'll talk about those features. But the big thing that I want to know is like, what kind of like being at Bookmap for so long, what advice could you give somebody that you've learned? Being there and what you've learned to advise someone here that what can help them to be a better trader. And then like what like, and it doesn't have to just be using a Bookmap. I'm just saying, like, what did you experience as mistakes? What's a common mistake that people have been making that you keep seeing that you want to prevent everyone listening not to make that mistake?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're teaching a lot of that, and then Bookmap is just helping you teach those concepts. Like, I mean, I think again and again, I mean, I've seen it so many times. I've talked to so many professional traders for a lot of years now. And some of them get it, some of them don't. I'm always kind of amazed or even appalled by those that don't quite get it. But just how these markets work. To really understand the kind of market mechanics behind the markets, how they work, what makes price move. It is an auction process, and right now we're watching sellers hit into high liquidity in here. The transaction is taking place. The question is, are there still more selling pressure here to go below, or are they going to absorb all of that selling and we're going to see a bounce? Okay, so understanding these kinds of just simple details, but like instead of understanding indicators, like people look for, oh look, there's divergence. Here there's divergence in right here in CVD in Microsoft. Well, first off, do you understand what the indicator is showing you? Really understand it, like the math behind it, which is it's so simple with CVD. Most of them are very simple, but you have to understand the auction here, what's really making price move, and the participants here. These are the people that are telling you what's going on. And it's not some sort of signal service. It's not some sort of indicator or math problem. This is all about understanding how these markets work and the participants involved in them.
Like you mentioned earlier, you've been watching me doing all those traders challenges over the years, after doing it 30 years. And, I used to work specifically just using, I've done a lot of presentations for NASDAQ. So, I would just use the book viewer.
Yeah.
And now, now what's happening with over time, a lot of platforms now aggregating other ECNs out there. And basically that's what you have on the right, which is this COB, which is the current order book. And I think a lot of people got very discouraged, like looking at numbers. They moved pretty fast, and I was kind of showing it. And you know what? They after a while, after looking at it, I tell them like 80%, actually 95% that's on there is really not what you focus on. You're looking at the bigger orders, and when you have something, when you're looking at on a chart wise, and you're starting to see it more, seeing what it was, other than what is now and how it could change, because that order could leave. It's a different ball game. What I've found, and this is where I get a little frustrated, Bruce, when I do my events, is that when you show somebody this, it's like, why don't you want to know this? Why don't you want to shadow this? Why do you want to know where the buyers and sellers? What makes you think you know more than that 50, 100,000 share seller? And what do you tell somebody? I mean, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, like I was kind of discussing, it's about how these markets work. And this is what's important. It's not about these other things. It's about understanding this and the reaction to this. Look how we've kind of dipped below, but we're finding buyers now, right? Where are they going to go? Well, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. You know, and look at underneath here right now. There's orders. Let me put it simplistically, like it is orders that make up the market. It is the behavior, people's behavior is through the orders. So, you know, a lot of fundamental traders like, oh, well, you know, the data was this or that. And fundamentals, believe me, I do believe that the fundamentals move the market in the bigger picture. Almost, I mean, every time. You know, technicals are just a part of it. Bigger picture, fundamentals move it. But truly, orders move the market. And the transactions of these orders move the market. And that's what this is telling you. This is what it's showing you. And that's what you want to understand. Why, who, how big, where are they transacting? What's the reaction afterwards, etc. And then once you start to understand that, you understand how these markets move, then you can understand where they might go. Once you start to understand that, now you can start to put some risk parameters around that, and you have a strategy. And you can now see how it works and track that, have a high probability strategy, and just look for it again and again.
So looking at it, what we having here, because like I said, we use this very exclusively in our trading because it's all about following orders, and I've done so many videos on it. If you haven't watched, everyone listening, you know, make sure you subscribe to the channel, look at them. I've pumped out probably hundreds of videos on them, especially stocks like the Nvidia trades, so like the Amazon, even brand name stocks, even very inexpensive stocks. But what is your favorite tool, Bruce, on that you like to use on the Bookmap? I mean, I know there's just so many bells and whistles on it. And, you know, I try to break people in, use Book Viewer, you know, because it's, you know, listen, things cost money. I mean, like, and there's things that you could do, but like, what is like one of the best tools on there to kind of use?
Yeah, I mean,
for someone starting out, that just like without getting complicated.
Sure. So it really, to try to keep it simple, you know, I mean, you can take maybe an element off the chart here or so, but like, and simplify it. But it is the, you know, it sounds kind of like a cop out, but I truly believe in it at the microsecond or, you know, nanosecond level on up to a monthly chart. It is about the context between the market structure, which is what you see here is this downtrend and then this kind of move back up. And that's the bigger picture structure. The transactions within that structure and the order flow within that structure, meaning the limit buy and sell orders. It is the context between those three elements. So like up here right now, so we were looking for a move back up to this area of liquidity after trading through here and finding buyers. Now look up here. So we traded there, great. But what is the interest now? Do we see up here in context, in this context, do we see a lot of buying activity up here? A lot of interest? Did we break this swing high? Did we trade through this liquidity? No, we didn't. So what we're looking actually for, maybe we're going to get some sellers here. We'll look for them. If we get some sellers here, I'm looking for a retest now down to this swing and this liquidity down here at 428.80. And that's the context. This is like, it's not quite exhaustion, but it's looking like it right now. It's like, I'm not seeing a lot of interest in transactions up here. So therefore, well, let's see when the sellers, if the sellers come in, we're looking for them. And once we do see that, we're looking for the test back down here.
Now, how do you make it brighter, the colors?
So there's a heat map dim bar up here. So you can slide it to the right and make it quite bright. You can take it off the chart completely and dim it. And then,
Why
this
would
may
anybody do that? Why would it make it look dark and not see those lines?
just for understanding this concept of here, right here. Like now, if we do get buyers here, and we got to get quite a few buyers here, then we're looking for a quick lift back up to this swing in the market structure. But it's easier to read the context of just two elements right now. It's a good exercise. You can look at the context of market structure and volume. Now, a lot of guys like footprint charts, looking at the volume, exactly where it transacts, on a bar. But there's a lot of context that is lost there. You don't have the liquidity. You don't have also microstructural areas in here. It'll be aggregated in one bar. You won't see this kind of like triple top up here. So those details matter. Anyway, that's what we don't see in other platforms. So taking it off might simplify things. So here's our third test up here, right? Third test. Do we still see buyers? No. Right? But do we see our sellers yet? No, we don't. So there's a couple of things to look for here. And we're looking for one or the other. One is big green dots up here. Or we're looking for big red dots down here, right? So in this range here, we're looking for where those transactions are taking place. Now, if we do get big green dot up here, we'll likely get a short squeeze to the upside, and then you'll have a nice little flag pattern here, right? But we don't see it yet, so we're staying away. Right now, here's the fourth time up here, and we're finding some buyers now. Okay, interesting. Now, the question is, though, what are they trading into? Who's on the other side? That's where the heat map comes in. That's where understanding the order flow is really, really helpful. So there are orders here. What's the condition of those orders? What's the context? Do we see them pulling? Yeah, actually, see how they're flashing in here? Let's just zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so as price comes up here, see how it kind of got thin here? Well, they're pulling their orders from the market. See how price went up here again, and see how it kind of got thin right in here? They're pulling orders from the market. So do these guys up here at 29.50 really want to transact? They're not really showing that. So I'm looking for buyers now, and I'm looking for a breakout to the upside. If we get our buyers, the bid looks good. Look at them on the bid here at a higher level. Now we're just looking for our buyers, and we're looking for a breakout.
Yeah, now, so that's channeling right there. You can see how it's kind of hitting the high, hitting the low, but the seller keeps going out there. We call that refreshing. We see when someone keeps updating their quote, you can see there's an order out there and keeps doing it.
Yeah.
This is Microsoft, by the way, everyone. By the way, everybody thinks like we have one student in the trading room was asking me about scalping, how to scalp it on it. I mean, that's basically what we're doing right now. We're kind of scalping a little bit more, but just to let everybody know, I mean, we use it for swing trading and long-term investing. I mean, you can go back and you can, if you set the data, you can go back. How many days could you go back if you wanted to?
You can go back a couple of days, but we're going to broaden that out to like a month. In the near future, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Because it's funny, when I was trading, when I was showing the videos on NVIDIA, I also did a video on showing how the algorithms kick in exactly at 9:30. Nobody knows that, and you could just you sit and watching it now, but all of a sudden we do a lot of pre-market trading, Bruce, and we're seeing the orders. All of a sudden you see boom, the red lines just show up. You just come in there, and you could see oh, there they are, and boom, you could kind of see a little bit in the pre-market, but they really kick in, right there at the end. And that's really what I kind of focus everybody here. That's why I want everybody to kind of listen in and understand that, when we trade, as traders, and it's it's scary. A lot of people don't use it as much because they're caught up on these indicators. But when you look at it, it's all about having that game plan. Yeah, there you go. You're showing it. You see how 9:30 and all the algos starting to kick in, and you can see how some of them were there earlier, in the pre-market. That just gives you that sense of direction, where to get in, where to get out. and they do, and like they do this on all the big brand name stocks. The same thing, the same thing. But what's a common mistake that you're seeing, Bruce, that people are making in trading and not even just even doing something using the platform?
Yeah, I mean, the most common mistake that I see is people they're I mean, I'm trying to keep it simple. People do all sorts of stuff,
No,
but
I know this.
but
I keep it simple, and I see some other present people that use it on Bookmap can get really, really nuts with the bells and whistles.
yeah,
But for somebody to go out there just to sample it, just kind of get an idea, that's the way to go. I mean, when I do my presentation, some people don't even know what the bid and ask is on a chart. Like they don't even know what the buyer is. I had one guy ask me, "Where's the money go?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean where the money goes? I mean, when I buy it, where's my money go? Like who are they taking it, and who gives it back to me?" I mean, sometimes you got to get really basic when it comes to that. But it's not like it's not a dumb question. I mean, listen, it's an
yeah,
honest question.
yeah,
When we have money
absolutely,
involved.
absolutely. Um, yeah, I mean, well, just to understand those basics, like I really kind of tried to. It's hard, but try to kind of flip it on its head and say like it's true. I believe it that all the indicators, everything is based off of these three elements in here, and more or less, and uh, understanding the transactions, the liquidity, and the market structure, and then to look at that, but then look at maybe an indicator as a confluence to this, and I mean, most people, like, the mistake that I see a lot is that like here this you see the charge up into high liquidity up here, right? And people will be fighting it here. Oh, it's a double top, you know, and it's like, well, no. I mean, get out of the way. Let these buyers lift it to here.
Double top or
And
not, but there's nobody selling it. So
right,
that's why people had this misconception. They think you got a double top. They're like, okay, yeah, you got a double top, a triple bottom, but to have a top, there's got to be a seller out there. I don't see a seller,
right, right.
and that's why it broke out.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And then, like, they'll fight it. Well, I'm selling. I'm selling more. And I mean, we've all done that, and that's how you get really, really big losses, and that can take you out of the game.
Right, right.
eh, so yeah, I mean, just let the participants tell you what's going on, and take it from there, and jump on the train, and once you get some insight and understanding of where they want to take it, I think is uh, you know and don't fight it. I mean, go with it, and then just know when you're wrong. Okay, like, for example, let's suppose that we see that we're trying to gauge it up here. We didn't get a clear reading up here. Are we getting something clear now? Well, let's see if we get our sellers here now. And where would they take it? Probably down to this 2880 level here. So, we're looking for this to unravel here. We're looking for buyers to try to break through because they're pulling some of that liquidity. Well, we just didn't find the buyers. So if we don't find the buyers, well, the sellers are going to rotate in, and try to take it down to some of these areas here. So anyway, go with it, instead of fighting it. I think is what I see a lot with a lot of traders misreading Bookmap,
Now regarding
especially lines on a chart. And that one is it really it bothers me because they'll look at like a VWAP or like something, and it's like, well, the VWAP, it hit the VWAP. Well, that's meaningless. If you see a whole bunch of traders come in, they're going to blaze right through the VWAP. Anyway,
about I mean, listen, I'm gonna put my sales hat on. Okay, so who's your competition on this platform? Do you have competition on it, or you just have you have more of a niche of this?
Yeah, I mean, originally it was very niche, and then a lot of people started to make copies of it. So there's been a lot of other platforms out there who have duplicated what we offer. I would say that there's some real big differences though that they cannot address, and that is the accuracy of the platform. We can zoom in here and note here, right? Do you see any transactions in here?
Mm,
No,
no.
but look at the order book update. This is not tick data. I mean, this is like, granular data, and this is we're just at the millisecond level here. We can continue on, looking at nanosecond resolution in here. Millions of seconds, billions of seconds. But this is very accurate. There's updates in the order book in here, even though there's not a transaction. And that kind of detail is not lost in Bookmap.
Well, what I do is like I always tell everybody if you want to get your feet wet, kind of like because people always get very skeptical of these old because so many platforms out there, Bruce. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, I got to buy another platform. I kind of like I always invite everybody. I say, listen, why don't you start off with Nasdaq Book Viewer? It's cheap, whatever it is, and it's just basically your current order book. And then when they understand like, oh, now I understand what you're talking about. You following these orders. Then when you bring them this, then they're like, oh my God, this is like unbelievable. Like, what a big difference. So, like, as much as I was like going in the past, always talking about what I had, that's why we exclusively use this, moving forward. But sometimes people look at it, get very discouraged, regarding about trading. They're like, oh, is this another indicator? And I tell everyone, it's not an indicator. It's a software. There's a
Right.
big difference. Totally different thing. Indicators are like mathematicians, with algorithms and stuff like that. This is basically just the raw data that comes out. But with that said, I know you guys have been doing this for 10 years, so you got a big niche on it. You did come out. I'm really interested in learning some of the big features on it you're telling me about. Tell us a little bit about whatchamacallit, your journals.
Yeah. No, this is great. And in fact, so let's just take a look at this though, like before we get into that. So the auction, we saw it auction up here. We were looking for that breakout, right? And didn't quite unfold. So sellers did come in. They rotate to the opposite side of the range here. This is the established trading range in here. Well, we rotate back up. We did. I don't know if we saw it in real time here, as you were discussing. The buyers start to come in. Now we're getting buyers up here. Now we're looking for something. So now we're looking for a measured move. Well, I mean, measured moves happen for a variety of reasons, but you can look at here something like this to unfold. And did it unfold? And why would we look for a measured move? There's multiple reasons. And then we can match this up with liquidity, right? So our target is this 430 area here. And that was the breakout we're looking for. And it's still working here. Basically, we're getting a bit of a pullback, maybe some profit taking, but still looking for some buyers to rotate back in and trade up to here.
What caught my eye on that one? The big buyer that showed up at what was that one at 429.20. When she showed up, that's when it really kind of broke out and it broke that resistance of that 429.50. So you could see it right.
Yeah, right in here. Yeah, I noticed it. I noticed it too.
All right, the
I
420,
almost.
the 429.20. See the buyer right there? He pulled his order. He just pulled it. There you go.
I'm sorry. Right in
That guy.
here. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I see. When he did, then that looks like that's when it really spiked up.
Yeah.
But you could see, like, clear as day, 430 was a big resistance.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. So we've pulled back, but what's the bid look like? What does the selling look like? Are we finding buyers come back in? What does the offer look like? There's some resistance in here, but let's see if we get enough buyers in here. Maybe these guys will pull, get out of the way, and we can trade up to 430. Yeah. Anyway, again, just context and looking for, uh, if this is like a flag pattern in here, well, you can start to understand what makes up that flag pattern. You can understand the that will give you insight to a more probable event unfolding. What was I'm sorry, I lost track. What was your question,
Oh no,
Fausto?
the big feature that you have coming out, that you came out
Oh
with,
yeah,
the with
yeah, the
journal.
trading journal. Yeah. So let me show you the trading journal and how it works basically. So yeah, I took a bunch of trades earlier today in futures market, mostly the Nasdaq. But this we have this new add-on in here, trading statistics. Now this is free. Everyone gets this with Bookmap, and basically you can open up the stats window here, and we don't have any stats at the moment. Here, let me take a trade quickly here. So let's see if we can get maybe a bounce off of here and get 100, put 100 shares on, and look for it to come back up to here. Now we can also put in OCO orders or bracketed orders here. Actually, let's do another 100. Ooh, I don't want to do that. 6 cents and 4 cents is the futures. So let's put in 100 and maybe 50 cents or 75 cents here. Okay, there we go. And then you can lift these up, move them around on the chart, look for your targets, etc. Yeah, we got 200 shares on, and we're looking for our buyers. We got a target up here to take off half our position. And if you want to move your stop to break even, once you get up, you can see the break even line here, and move it up to break even at that point, however you like to do it. So now let's actually I'll flatten this position here. I hate to even take a small loss. Here we go. All right, buyers, the bid looks pretty strong. We're getting our buyers. Let's see them break this structure and at least trade up to here, 29.73 or 4. And let's see if they can get that. Come on, buyers. Where are you? There you are. All right, here, we'll take some off up here. We'll move our stop down, or our take profit. Now, one of the things, and one of the advantages in here, see this heat map? We know there's some orders there. Okay, most are up here at 30. We know that. But you can take some off up here and front run this high liquidity here. And that can help you, limit some of the risk along the way. So I'm just going to exit this. Still looking for it to unfold, but let's exit this so I can show you the trading statistics now. And here's our trade. Right now, the beauty of this is we can now open it here in our web journal. And let me show you that. So here's our web journal here. And here's our Microsoft trade here. We made 1180 on it, but 200 shares. What we've got in here now, this is free too. It comes with Bookmap. It's our web journal, and we just released it last week. So what you can do here is filter by instrument. You can create your own journals in here, all journals. I was doing this range bound trading strategy in here, main journal, whatever. You can make your own. You can select what instrument you want as well.
What's
We'll
an
just look.
instrument?
So yeah, here you can see a couple in Microsoft, or here's some of the futures products. Here's the NQ.
Okay. Those are the specific stock, and just it's in general.
Yeah, that's right. So if you want to focus on one in particular, and then we've got the date filters up here. So this is 1 month of data, but let's look at just this week here. All right, so here's my data from this week, the 27th to today, or tomorrow, actually. And here are my trades. And you get your total wins, total losses, biggest winner, biggest loser, your average winner, your average loser, and then your profit ratio here. So you've got more winners than losers in this case, and then you've got your P&L curve here, and up here it'll tell you what your P&L is at the far right. So we're up about 1,700 for the last couple of days, and we're not trading much. Just one lot's in here, or you can see 100 shares in here. And there's losses, but what's nice here too. Now this is just our first release of this. Believe me, we'll spin a lot more metrics in the near future. But you get your entry, exit, instrument, your size or volume that you traded, your entry price, exit price, profit or loss, what kind of buy or sell. Then MFE and MAE, maximum favorable versus maximum adverse excursions.
What does that mean?
So so this trade went for us 11 ticks or 11 cents, and it went against us 6.
Oh, okay, that's
So
interesting.
this is really, really important information, because you want to well, I mean, my goal here, I mean, I've been kind of messing around with a range bound strategy. That's why you see such a high profit rate here. It's really hurt my average winners and losers, because I'll get lots of winners, but then I'll have one loser that'll be pretty big. That's here you can see it in some of the data. Well, I'll show it maybe later.
Well, I had a couple
But
of questions come here, Bruce.
sure.
Bill Ireland, one of the students in the trading room, who's been with us for several years. When you do a trade on this, does it have to be linked to your brokerage account, or you have to do it like separately, like click here, then click there? Could you do it on demo mode? I mean, how does it all connect? Like, could you just do this as a standalone, just to practice?
Yeah, you can do all of that. It can be connected to your live account. We route trades. We connect to Interactive Brokers. We connect to TradeStation, and
Thinkorswim, right?
and Thinkorswim though is through
Schwab?
through Schwab. Yeah. It is their platform is embedded. The Bookmap platform's embedded on their Thinkorswim platform. You trade from there, and it'll work directly as well.
And Louise, yes, it is. I mean, this platform's available all over the world, so you don't have to just because you're in Canada doesn't mean you can't get it. But if you have an IB broker, you can obviously trade off it, because I know a lot of the traders in the room use IB.
Yeah, you can trade directly from it. The data you can connect to. Well, for stocks, you cannot connect. I think you can connect directly, but we really highly recommend you use DXV data because the data quality is much higher. You can see we're reliant on quality data for this platform to work well.
Now, do you recommend trading off the platform itself, or like trading on the execution system? Like,
I highly recommend to trade off of Bookmap because of the reasons I just showed. You can move the stops, your take profits. See how we kind of front ran this high liquidity in here. Now we wouldn't have gotten filled here, but it came up to it, right? Almost got filled. Now maybe it's still in progress here. We're just kind of going in a range at the moment. And moving your stop up. I mean, what's beautiful about this too is look how you can debrief your trading. I move my stop at this point. Why? Well, because of the demo. You have to hold yourself accountable in here. It's a great coaching tool for you, Fausto. Traders can show, well, this was my activity. This is what I did. And you can say like, oh boy, great job, or like, you need to work on your trade management. You need to work on your entries. Why did you enter? What was your criteria for entering in here?
Now, if I have the platform up and running, I have it running on my end. Where do I click to turn that on the left-hand side?
Yeah, so just you'll click on the trade control panel here, this
The
padlock
lock?
icon. Yep.
Oh, the big lock.
And
Okay.
it'll open it up here, the trade control panel, and then here you'll switch it on to either trading from the dome, the chart, or both. We have a very professional dome as well, but
Mine says it's still locked when I click on it.
which one?
When I click the lock, it opens up on the left, but it's shaded out.
Okay. Well, so then you got to click on maybe this drop down here, and then select if we want to trade from the chart, or select chart or
Off.
both. Huh. Okay. So I don't know how you're connected, but
well, if somebody's connected as a standalone product and they just want to demo, just basically paper trade on it.
Yeah. See, like down in the lower right hand corner down here, you can see that the data is live, but I'm in trading simulated mode here. So any transactions here take place only within Bookmap.
Okay. Mine says trading real.
Okay, so you're connected to your broker.
Right.
Yeah, if you trade from the Bookmap chart, then your trade will be routed to your broker.
Right. Okay. And then it'll just come up in there and you'll see it on the left-hand side. No, that's a really cool tool for training. We actually have our own standalone on an Excel spreadsheet, but it's just nicer when you just click it on it, you see it on there, and you can go back and back test. Because listen, being a trader, you got to go back, you got to journal and see how you're doing moving, in the future, to kind of see if you're ready to go to that next level or not. And review those journals. That part of what we do here, we do a lot of coaching too, a lot of one-on-one coaching at Cyber University. And first thing we ask is like, okay, let's look at your journal. And if you don't have your journal, that means you're not doing your homework. And I kind of compare it to like a doctor's office. Like, wait, you didn't take your blood test? What are you doing here? I can't help you if you can't. I don't know what's wrong with you. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I had to change the appointment. So journaling is very, very big. We push it a lot. I know, and a lot of people don't like writing it down because we do like another one. It's another journal. We have to type it in. This is just better when it does it automatically. It's already there. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, this is very, very simple, simple metrics here. But what you can spin from that is, has a lot of depth. So in fact, you can, copy and paste these into a Excel spreadsheet if you want. However, why do that when you've got the web journal here that'll list all this stuff out for you? And like I said, pretty soon you'll be able to, look at what were my most profitable times of day, what were my most profitable instruments or stocks. What about my MFE versus MAE?
I made a mouse pad on that.
Yeah, really, really important metrics. I want to maximize my favorable outcomes or excursions, and minimize my adverse. Depending on the strategy you're trading, like I said, I've been messing around with this kind of range bound strategy. Well, I'm going to have, since it's range bound, I'm going to have a lot of MAEs versus favorables. But boy, the profit ratio should be higher for that reason. Anyway, lots of different things to spin and take a look at.
Now, Bruce, could you what other things could you trade other than stocks on here? You could trade futures. Could you do crypto?
Yeah, sure.
So how do you look up Bitcoin right now?
Sure. I need to make a connection here. I think I got it. Okay. And yeah, I think I can just connect to that one. So we connect to, let me just show you here from bookmap.com. I also want to show you guys the Learning Center. So if you have questions about any of these things, this is the place to go. So yeah, for that, go to the More button at bookmap.com and then go here, Learning Center from Resources. And you'll see all sorts of videos in here. Getting started, I'd start here. These are the 3 elements on the chart, how to add a symbol, how to navigate around the chart, and then down here, how to trade. Okay, so there's a handful of videos in here about how to use the trade control panel, how to trade from the Bookmap chart, etc. Yeah,
It's a nice learning center.
a great little area to go and get educated. We have that market mechanics course. Highly recommend that you watch at least part 1 of our market mechanics course. This is what we go through is this kind of information here, understanding exactly what moves the market, understanding the effect of orders, like an order book skew here. What happens? People get scared. They'll typically scares away buyers. You get more sellers hit the bid, etc. But understanding these at the most binary elements in here in our education will be very applicable to when you start to understand it here on lower time frames, and then start to zoom out and look at much higher time frames as well. It's all the same stuff. Heck, we can go look at candlestick chart and a daily chart. I am convinced it is exactly the same thing. Here, this kind of flag pattern, or here's our continuation pattern in here. Only so much buying pressure up into where sellers came in and dropped it. Now this is on the daily, right? And then more buying pressure breaking out, more buying pressure coming up to all-time highs, right? You can start to understand the flow in some of these. Well, I mean, you can do it in hindsight. It's rather challenging to do it in real time because you only have price action in the candlestick chart. You don't have the volume, or if you do, it's in the sub chart, as you can see here, and you certainly don't have liquidity. Once you start to look at Bookmap and you start to understand the liquidity with the price action, then you've got something. Anyway, that's the Learning Center, and then also about how to connect, or I'm sorry, the pricing here and the different versions of Bookmap. You were asking about that, I think, right, Fausto?
Yeah, I have the link for everyone here that wants to. We have our promo here for everybody who wants interested in Bookmap. I'm just grabbing it right now for everyone here. Where is it? Here we go. We have it on our website too. The Bookmap promo. Let me just put that in there for everybody there. There's the link. And we put on an alert. Yeah, because we're pretty much, so if anybody wants to get that promo through CTU, just click on that link to get that Bookmap to register for it. And you got the pricing and everything on there.
Yeah, and so with that link that Fausto's providing there, you can get longer term offers that are not available from bookmap.com, right? So a 3-month, a 1 year, and a lifetime version. There's deals on there that we don't have.
And I have workshops that we given you, my strategies behind that too, and how we utilize it. So you get all those features through Cyber Trading University and through Cyber Group Room and stuff like that. But yeah, so anyway, just really quick last minute thing before we go, Bruce. And once again, thanks for coming here. It's been, I know we haven't had you in a while. We got to have you here more often. I know people love how to use the platform. I know there's so much more to cover, so much more we could do. But before we go, regarding about the platform itself, one person was asking, his look is a little bit different. Is there anything future is coming out that Bookmap is going to be launching? I know. I mean, this is a great feature just on the journals. Anything else that we should be looking forward to?
Yeah. So there's, I mean, it's kind of like being in Santa's workshop. I mean, the developers are pumping stuff out all the time and looking at the market in various ways. So I think I showed you this before, this Market Pulse tool. And what you can do is it's kind of like a miniature dome in essence, but there's many different types of algos that you can look at in here. So like this one will be on order book pressure, or here, let me just bring it up here. Pace of tape, spread or stops, icebergs, volume pressure. Let's look at volume pressure and balance, in fact. And this is an easy one to understand and demo. So, and we'll look at Microsoft and not NASDAQ. But you can also look at NASDAQ, or you can even make here's one that shows volume pressure of Apple and Microsoft together in this little widget in here, right? So now we're going to start to read and understand the volume pressure coming in here based on an algo of 5 minutes of data or whatever amount you want to choose. Now, what's good about this is, let's suppose you're trading NASDAQ futures, okay? Or let's suppose you're trading stocks and you want to look at like, these are your bellwether stocks. You can put it into one little widget here of Apple and Microsoft, NVIDIA, all three, whatever you want. This would be your kind of bellwether. When that starts to pick up, maybe you want to look at the Qs and you're looking for the Qs to rise, or something else that's related in a correlated market. So anyway, interesting stuff going on there. Now, what we have done just recently is we are now offering an automated trading with this tool as well. So what you can do is look at a combination of different algos here. We're using Market Pulse. And then when you get kind of a cross between all of them hitting at the same time, it will give you a trade alert. So go long at this point, or go short. Yeah, I can demo it in the futures, but I don't think I can do that at the moment in stocks. I'll have to. Yeah, I'll have to see about that. But anyway, it's really great to be able to get these confluences and let the the algos tell you that we're seeing a lot of volume pressure. Therefore, we're looking for a test and a move up into this high liquidity here. As simple as that. So right now, are we getting that volume pressure? No, we're not. Right, we're not seeing it. So maybe we're going to get some sellers. We'll see. Maybe they'll drop it back down to this liquidity level here, or maybe even here.
Well, you definitely see a selling pressure there, and that's what we're covering today, and you feel the breakouts. But anyway, so if anybody wants to learn more about Bookmap and you wanted to get some of our trading techniques and styles of how we use it, we're a big fan of it. We've been around using it since probably almost the day they've been starting. I mean, forever. Just click on that link and we post it in the trading room. And then, like I said, Bruce, thanks for having me. Look forward to having you back. Great content, and like I said, I don't know how you could trade without it, the way I look at it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Fausto. Really nice of you guys to host me. Really, I hope that, our goal here is for you to make better trading decisions based off of how the market works. This data it looks complex, but it's actually very simple. And you got a great educator. You've got Fausto here. This is how he trades. He goes off